Good. Okay. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, at a new Open Series broadcast in the 2015 Open Series season. My name is Menno Klont. Next side is Scott Woodwiss. How are you doing?
Yes, hi Menno. Good to be back on GPVWC. It's been quite a while since they did a broadcast, but fantastic to be back. And of course, fantastic to be coming back here with the Open Series, the Downforce Radio Open Series, of course, thanks to the partnership Downforce Radio now has. And brilliant to be back. And hopefully, with the grid that we've got, should be in for quite a fantastic race because compared to last year's Open Series, we've got quite a stacked grid.
Yeah, what a grid we have, indeed. Because, yeah, we have got about 22 drivers or something close to that, and that's pretty good. That's the biggest biggest field we ever had in the Open Series, and I see a lot of new names on the grid, and I think we will see a lot of talent in this year's Open Series. What do you think, Scott?
Absolutely, and the good thing about this is that the Open Series is the chance for these guys who don't necessarily have a driver or a contract in the career ladder series to just showcase their talents to the rest of the paddock. I mean, you've got guys in here, surprisingly, I didn't expect to be in the race, but Robert Wiesenmuller, very, very talented sim racer up there, top of the times at the moment, 1:37.186, but he's...
Oh. Okay, we have, I think we have a slight delay. Well, yeah, we have got Wiesenmuller on a professional pole. He's on a good lap as well. We have got Wiesenmuller now in P2. And Scott McCready, if I pronounce it correct, in P3. And I don't know this guy, but he looks pretty quick. We've got Francis Cabrera with a very, very quick lap now. Will he get pole? Will he get pole? He gets P2 for now. So it's Sweden P5 now. Vareka jumps to P6. We've got Peratalo in P7 now. But will he jump? No, he will not jump. Let's see. Onwine jumps to P7. Bennett comes into the pits. And Ilya Brekalo is on a really good lap. I think he might go to pole position. I hope we have an onboard now. I think Ilya is one of my favorites for the win. Of course, I don't have favorites, but yeah, some guys I know they have a really good history of good sim racing, and Ilya is one of them. But will he get pole? Will he get pole? The answer is yes. He got pole, and now we only have Todor Pangev left to beat that time. But seeing his sector times, he will not get that position. But where will he qualify? Will he jump from the back row to middle of the pack? And he jumps to P10. So, Ilya Brekalo on pole position for the Open Series race at Australia. That's really good to see. And he got a gap of 4/10 to Robert Wiesenmuller with Geoffrey Fournier in P3. And let's see if we can get Scott back. I hope so. There was quite a good qualifying session, and yeah, it worked because we have a rule change. The drivers can now do 2 or 3 flying laps instead of the 1 lap qualifying of last year, and I think that's good. And yeah, it will be a great race. But yeah, a lot of new guys. How will they do? Maybe some guys who starting at the back will have a great race, and yeah, you never know. You never know. Hot discussions now in the server about how it went, how the format was, how the drivers did, and I think they were all quite quite happy. And Scott's back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I've had to switch to my iPad because my laptop decided it didn't want to run Skype properly anymore. So sorry about that. But yeah, I did keep track of what was going on. So fantastic poll for Elijah Bricalo, brilliant stuff. And again, I was surprised to see Robert Wiesenmüller up in second place. He was kind of a last minute addition, I guess, on that one. But what I was mentioning during that warm-up session before I realised that I wasn't online was that it's something that Lewis McGlade points out in the forums that it's fantastic to see that we had 8 cars last year. We jumped up to 22, 23 cars in the field for this year's first opening race, and it just vindicates the amount of talent that is out there and that wants to race. And hopefully the grids will maintain these sizes going forwards, and hopefully we'll get more and more talented drivers, and hopefully these guys will then go on to actually be regulars in GPWC for seasons to come.
Yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, the qualifying was really, really intense, and yeah, some good names at the top, and some good names lower at the field. I think, yeah, we couldn't say what will happen in the race, because all those drivers are just so good. Everything can happen. I can see some midfielders going to the top 5 positions.
Well, it's a pretty interesting looking grid. I mean, you've got Bricalo and Wiesenmüller row 1, then we've got Fournier and Cabrera row 2, Van der Miller and McCready in row 3, and they've got Mason, who's jumped in at the last minute, in row 4. Tonal Panjeb's another name that I recognise as well. He's up there in the top 10. Scott Bennett's down in 14th. Nikos Evangelidakis is in there. Ricky Sarpilla. There's a lot of familiar names around from single seaters in other sim racing leagues that are kind of jumping in here in the Open Series to give it a go. It's good to see that it's attracted such quality talent, even for the first race of the season or the series.
Yes. And now shortly we'll begin the warm-up lap for this Grand Prix. So I hope that everybody is in time on the grid. But I think it looks good for the most of the drivers. I think we're all on. Is there somebody in the pits? I believe not. No. Okay, so it's Ilya Bricalo at P1, Robert Wiesenmüller P2, Geoffrey Fournier P3, Francis Cabrera P4, Patrick Wannemüller P5, Scott McCready P6, Rob Mason P7, Tomislav Sviben P8, Kleidas Vareka P9, Todor Pangev P10, Kasper Onwijn, the winner of the Open Series race, I think Spain last year. He starts in P11. Aki Peratalo is in P12 with Mr. Batalla in P13. Let's see, it's Scott Bennett in P14. It's Mr. Bartel in P15. It's Eric Stanford in P16. Florian Engel in P17, Andreas Roodhoofd in P18, Nikos I will not pronounce that name, P19. Sorry, I will practice in 2 weeks. It's Philip Koenig, the only driver of this field who won a FC race. And let's see, where did something go wrong? Let's see, we've got Rico Sarpilla P21, and we've got Martin Riedberg at P22. So, Scott, your prediction?
Oh, this is going to be tricky. I think if I'm going to have to pick it between 2 guys, not to sound stereotypical, I think one of the front row men are going to get it. It's either going to be Bricalo or Wiesenmüller. Showing Bricalo's pace in qualifying, he might be good over the first couple of laps, but I know Wiesenmüller's got very, very good race pace. So given the right opportunity, he might grab it. So I'm going to plump for Wiesenmüller in this first race.
I will say Cabrera.
Interesting pick from 4th on the grid.
Yeah, but the guy can drive. And yeah, we will see what he will do.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah. Okay, cars are lining up. Let's hope we have a decent start. for everybody, of course. And no front wings going wild. No Harlem shakes. Okay.
I hope so.
We've got 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're go. Oh, a pretty good start, Oh, one crash in the back, but overall it looks pretty good into turn 1. That looks very decent. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, a big crash in the background, but Wiesenmuller is already right on the rear end of Bracala as they head down towards turn number 3, looking to the outside in the braking zone. Bracala's got it covered. Vandermeule's holding on to third with McCready trying to go around the outside in the white car. They're almost 2-3. Oh, bit of contact between Peratalo in the pink machine and also just behind Sveben in the red car. Then Bennett's up there too. A couple of cars on the grass. It was Fournier's dropped right back, so he had a poor start from about third on the grid. He's battling away with Scott Bennett in the mid pack. The cars that were casualties from what happened earlier on. One car that's missing is Martin Rietberg, and also Batala as well in the green car suffered. He's back there as well. So those guys have suffered already, but it's a breakaway pack of 2 already. Bracala leading from Wiesenmuller with Vandermeuler in third place, and now already it's Cabrera all over the back of McCready as they head towards the end of sector 2.
But that McCready had a pretty good start, if I'm correct. It's not a bad start. Oh, and Wannemüller lost his front wing. Oh, Wannemüller. He needs to go to the pits. Oh, this is hard. He had such a good qualifying and a good start, and now, yeah, he lost his front wing.
This is going to be tricky. That's good driving from Vandermeuler. Of course, It's a shame. He was up there on the second row of the grid, and he's pulled on onto the grass. That's smart driving from Patrick. Good job from him. Well, that's to get out of the way because Sarpilla also without a front wing, and Battle's also ended up in there too. But up at the end of the first lap then, and it's Wiesenmuller all over the back of Bracala down towards turn 1.
Yeah, McGrady P3. He will having a great debut race now.
And Scott Bennett, that's a very late break.
Scott!
Oh my goodness! It's all over the place. Wiesenmuller's now grabbed the lead. So that must have been moving to turn 3. I'll grab a quick replay of that as I quickly fast forward that, and it was a move up the inside into turn 3. So he managed to make Bracala just break a little bit late and got him on the exit. So smart move from Wiesenmuller, and he's up now into the lead of this opening Open Series race here, backed by Downforce Radio.
Yeah, well, let's see. We've got some guys who had a pretty good start, and some who made some errors at the start. But yeah, overall it looks pretty good. Of course, we have some incidents, but yeah, that's racing, and yeah, we've got a rookie field, new talents, and that will happen. But yeah, I think overall we could be very happy with this start because it's really clean. I mean, yeah, accidents happen, but yeah, the start was good and clean. Oh, and Rietberg loses it again.
Just had a move watching Fournier's lost another place to Sveben, and it's just behind. You've got Total Pangev and Rob Mason side by side as well. Pangev just holding on around the outside as they head up towards the complex, the final 2 corners, and Bareka as well in the purple car just behind is closing in too. And a piece of front wing on the pit straight as well here, but it's Wiesenmuller who still leads. Bracala is still second, then McCready third with Cabrera closing him down in 4th, then Peralto. Then it's Sveben as well up there in 6th and 7th. Then it's now 8th place now for Pangev, he's holding on to get past Mason, with Bareka in there. I think it's Engel rounding out the top 10.
Oh, and Koenig overtakes Nikos Evangeli. Yeah, well, I will have really problems pronouncing that name. But yeah, yeah. Oh, and it's Eric Stanford, another debutant. I hope we can go on board with this guy, because yeah, he's a pretty experienced sim racer, but yeah, stopped for some time, and he's now trying to enter sim racing again. And yeah, he's trying his best. He's not feeling too well at the moment. He was a bit ill, but he decided to race, and yeah, it's good for Eric. And let's see, I see Rietberg coming into the pits. So it's Wiesenmuller for Brecalo. Frances Cabrera, my pick for the win. It's in P3. Oh, he overtook McCready, who's in P4. Aki Peratalo is in P5. And Fournier is in P6. With Tomislav in P7. With Pangev in P8. Mason, the reserve driver of an FC team. I don't know which one. I believe it was Epic, but I'm not sure. Mason, he's going for overtake on Pangev.
Might get the braking zone into turn 1, but Pangev just holds on around the outside. A little big twitch on from Mason on the exit. You can see he's pushing, and he might get the slipstream. This is for 8th position now, down towards turn 3 again. Pangev in the black car, Mason in the blue car as he dives towards the inside. A little bit late on the brakes, but he gets the move done. Good job from Mason there. As you said, well done, beautiful pass. Pangev trying to get aggressive back on the exit, and again twitched. I think he nudged the back of Mason's car. No damage to the front wing of Pangev's black car, but he's trying to get back past again. He's side by side in the run down towards, I think it's now turn 7 and 8, and he's got the move done. Great switch back to get it back past. Good racing between these two for 8th place.
Those two show how it is done, clean and fair racing, and yeah, they did pretty well. So the overtake of Mason and the overtake back from Pangev. Yeah, that's good to see that they have respect for each other, but they want to beat each other. So yeah, and we have other fights now in the race. Let's see.
Just quick note, the Rietberg is up amongst the leaders. He's a lapped car. They're having to get around him. He's doing a good job to keep out of their way. But McCready, Peralta and Fournier just got through, and Sveben's the next man to come across him. So he's trying to get well out of the way. Big twitch from Rietberg, and Sveben has to dart up the inside to try and grab the move to get past him. But of course he's still sat in 7th. He's lost time to the 3 cars in front as they're stacking up for 4th, 5th and 6th.
Yeah, and let's go on board with Aki Peratalo in P5, because I think he will try to overtake McCready pretty soon. I think it will be soon if he gets a good exit. Well, there was not that a good exit, but yeah, but still.
Pangev's Pangev's actually gone straight on at turns 1 and 2. Now, it wasn't a move trying to get past Mason, and looking back at the replay, he was in the slipstream, looked onto the inside, just outbraked himself. Whoa! Over the grass, and had to get back to. He lost another place to Mason, back down to 10th.
Go on board with Pangev or Bennett. Go! Oh, Bennett!
Whoa!
Oh, Bennett! Wow! That racing. Oh.
Gutsy stuff, and Rietberg in the way doesn't help. And to be fair, you can't really blame Rietberg there. He was just doing the best he could. It was like, I don't know where to go. Where do you want me to come there? It doesn't have vertical takeoff, but he did well to try and get out the way across the grass there. He's now letting the car behind of Philip Koenig, who the man, as you said, on Menno, of course, won a race last year in the Open Series, but doing well in lap in the 11th place, just on the fringes of the top 10.
Yeah, and we didn't see the overtake from Aki Peratalo on Scott McCready, but McCready is trying to come back.
And so is Fournier as well. Look at this. He's might make it 3 wide down towards the right hand of Peralta, trying to hold him on the other side.
Yes!
Past both of them. They said, "See you later, boys. You scrap amongst yourselves. I will go and drive into 4th position if you don't mind. Thanks very much." And this is fast and frantic stuff here. They call it the Open Series. It's certainly open in terms of it's very flowing racing as we go along here. And Fournier just holding on for the moment.
Yeah, Fournier just says now, well, yeah, guys, it was fun behind you, but now I'm leaving.
I've had enough staring at your gearbox. I think it's time I went past, started charging after Cabrera, I think, and he's doing just that, I think. In fact, already we've got McCready and Peratalo side by side again. Peratalo in the pink car on the outside, McCready in the white car, and a huge lock up from Peratalo, goes deep into turn number 3. McCready trying to look round the outside again. That's gutsy stuff, but Peratalo cuts him off and says, "No, you don't, sunshine." And he holds on to the position, and our top 5 places at stake here between these two. And yet, they're both going to have to watch their mirrors, because behind them is Tomislav Sveben in the red car in 7th place, and Rob Mason also pulled away from Bareka as he locks up in the corner. And still, Bennett come into contact, and a lovely 360 with Pike there from with Bennett. And I think he gets a full 6 from me for that one. That's a beautiful bit of car control to get through. Unfortunate contact with Pangev. I'm not sure. I'm sure there'll be several expletives in the cockpit of Mr. Bennett's car, I think, but even so, good job to keep it going.
Aki Peratalo runs right, yeah. Everything's happening now, so yeah. Aki Peratalo with a mistake. And Scott was clever enough to see that happening and got the position back.
Indeed he did. Just looking quickly back up at the front of the field, and it's now Wiesenmuller who leads now to the tune of, let's look at the gap. He's pulled out another half a second on Bracalo in that lap. He's now up to 4.3, with the gap now between Bracalo and Cabrera now it's out to 6.2 seconds. So Cabrera holding on to a solid third place now, but of course Fournier's now broken away from that scrap between McCready and Peralto. And Paratalo, I'm going to struggle with that name personally. But Paratalo's now got Speedman, and also the charge of Rob Mason. Where's Rob Mason come from? 8th place, and right on the back of Speedman as they come down towards turn 3. We've got another race in our hands here for the middle to lower parts of the top 10.
Yeah, it looks very good, very exciting racing for now. Let's see if we can go on board with one of the... Oh, Mason, what happened to Mason? Let's see, Mason. I think Mason made a mistake.
Looking back at the replay, right a bit, he's hit the barrier, I think. If that's lag, or he's hit the barrier, because he just twitched on the exit of turn 6, went across the grass, and then he's just managed to get him up again. I'm not sure if he's got suspension damage. His front wing's still intact. He might be struggling in that blue machine there, but he's now going to have to try and close in on Paratalo and Speedman all over again.
Okay. Let's go on board with one of the guys who's on the rear end of the field. It's Andreas Roodhoofd in P20. You should give this guy just some airtime because he practiced hard, and he's a reserve driver at FC team. I believe it's triple 20, but yeah, I'm not really sure. But I believe with this I'm pretty right. So this is Andreas Roodhoofd. It's a rookie. He did, I believe, one race last season. He's new to this, but yeah, he's learning, and yeah, I think during this Open Series season you will see him grow and grow every race, and yeah, good to see. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all these guys deserve some airtime. This is the whole point of the series, you know, to give these guys like, you know, Roodhoofd a chance to shine, a chance to get some airtime and have their moment in the spotlight. And you know, I noticed that Roodhoofd had a bit of trouble in the beginning. I think he was one of the cars involved in the start line accident. He had to go into the pits and game repair, so he's back down in 20. Not because of his speed, because he had some troubles early on. But I think if he does a couple more Open Series races, he might be able to possibly get himself higher up the field. And any track time he gets is good track time. He's practiced a lot. He deserves his shot. But
we need to go on board with P7. It's Tomislav Sweden with Aki Paratalo. Tomislav looks a lot quicker than Aki Paratalo, and I think in a lap or so he will overtake. Or maybe now. Oh, Aki, what are you doing? Aki hit the barrier, and yeah, that upset the balance of the car, and yeah, Tomislav got by, but also Rob Mason got by. And Rob Mason looks even quicker than Tomislav. But that will be a nice battle between red, blue and pink.
Certainly will. And Rob Mason really putting himself on the spotlight. His drive so far has been absolutely fantastic to get himself up there and pulling off some great overtaking moves. Good to see him showing some pace here and to close in. And there's a possibility, which is being told in the air, that we might be starting to get a little bit of rain. So potentially, so that's going to throw a spanner into the works. Of course, these guys don't have to pit, but they can pit if they need to, of course, and if they want to, they can switch to the wet compound. There's no intermediates in the Open Series, so we'll have to see what they can do to try and make that work. But so Mason now's on the back of Paratalo, and he is hounding him now for 7th place. The rain lights on Paratalo's back of Paratalo's pink car as they head down towards turn 7 and 8, and Mason really is giving him the hurry up as they head up towards the middle of the circuit at the end of sector 2. So this is great racing from Mason, and wonder if he can possibly get past by the time they come towards the end of the sector and get himself up into 7th place, because the longer he stays behind Paratalo, the easier it's going to be for Sweden just to run away and pull a gap on these two for 6th position. Okay, let's go another onboard shot with another driver. Let's go for Mr. Nikos Evangelidakis. Well,
didn't went too bad.
No, I think you got it.
P15 is he in at the moment, and yeah, we should give him some airtime. Because yeah, he's also trying very hard. He did some races last season, and he wanted to join again, and yeah. That's possible in the Open Series. If you want to race, you can race. Just make sure you do some good testing, and yeah, you will always get some help from other guys, and yeah. So if you are new to this, you think, hey, I want to do that, but I don't think I'm good enough to race. Well, just join, just try. You will get professional help with some and some tips about racing, about how to test, which things you need to work on in order to be a good race driver. So yeah, you can all learn that at Open Series, and hopefully new talents can grow until yeah, you can get better and grow to a seat in the FC or even Super Cup or Super League.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll agree. And the great thing about GPWC is that it's a wonderful league with a wonderful community. I bet that's one of the core. That's really the core of this championship. There are some very skilled drivers, some brilliantly organised teams, but at the core of it is the community. It's almost like one big family that these guys operate together, and everyone's out there to help each other in terms of get these new guys, these guys who don't have a drive it, to kind of get them up to speed. There are some experienced drivers, like we said, like Robert Wiesmuller, who continues to lead this race with Bracalo, and also other big guys like Ivan Jelidarkis and Turnal Pangev and Scott Bennett. These guys also have the experience, but the younger guys who are kind of out there, who having the first few races and just finding their feet in this league and in this community, for example, they need that support base, and this is what GPWC gives them, and the teams that they can join, the support and the things that they can learn in terms of setup, driving technique, car control, etc. It all stems from the quality of the teams and the drivers and the personnel, and that's what GPWC excels at. It's fantastic. On a side note, it is raining, so that's another spanner in the works and another element thrown into the mix.
Ooh,
so
Ilya did go a bit wide, and yeah, in P2 it's really it's really hard not to make mistakes if you want to be P1. And I see Riku Sarpila in the grid. Oh, what's happened to Riku? I think some technical problems for Riku. I think his suspension gave up. Okay, so we've got now, let's see, we've got 2 DNFs. We've got one DNF and one suspension-related issue. But that means we have a lot of drivers still in, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Most of the drivers are still racing, and yeah, that's a good thing to see. People really aim to finish the race, and I think we could be very happy about that. Oh, what's happening to Fournier? Oh yeah, he's targeting the podium.
Grand job, but the trouble is, was Fournier, my goodness, he got very close to Cabrera, but you can see now the spray starting to form as Cabrera straight into the slipstream. That's an arc of a good driver. He knows exactly to start attacking the moment he gets past, and he's all over the back of him, goes a little wide, it almost hits the sleeping policeman on the outside, or the anti-cuts on the exit of turn 2, but Fournier with a very, very stringent, forceful pass to get himself up into a podium place. Very good drive from him so far. And impressive stuff. Now Rob Mason, just looking quickly back at him, he's now going to try and get past Zveben, as both him and Mason have got past Peratala, and Pangev is now in 9th place, closing in with Bennett slip-sliding around at the tail end of the top 10. Casper Onwin has now just come into the pits and is now heading out, but he is back down in 19th position, but still soldiering on.
Yeah, but why did he pit? Did he go for rain tires? Did he go...
I wonder. Maybe he did. If he has, well, look at what everyone else is on. Just look at some of the sidewalls, and I don't think the sidewalls. No, the sidewalls don't change. So I think he's. It looks to me he's still on one. Yeah, it looks like he's still on slick. So he hasn't changed. Maybe he just came in. Maybe he's repaired some damage. I wonder. He might have had an off somewhere.
Yeah, or get more fuel.
Possibly, yeah, as well. Could be more. Could be fuel stop.
Philip Koenig and Kleidas Vareka. I believe they have a huge battle with each other. P11 and 12 they are battling in now, so I think Kleidas just overtook Koenig, but I'm not sure. So yeah, we've got Philip Koenig. He won a race in the Formula Challenge last season. He had a bit of luck with the reverse grid, but yeah, he won an FC race, guys. That's really good, and yeah, and now he's here. That's yeah, that's good to see.
It is good to see, absolutely. And the fantastic thing is that it gives you that confidence because he has won a Formula Challenge race, and because you have to bear in mind that the Formula Challenge cars are pretty much exactly the same as the Open Series cars. There's no real difference to them. The chassis are exactly the same, as are the engines, everything else. It's simply just the fact that these guys are out there. You know, obviously, these are cars that aren't tied to any teams. They're all single cars in a series that doesn't score any championship points. It's just a series of races that these guys can take part in and just gain that experience and have fun and drive without having a license or a contract or anything else that ties them into a particular team on a particular weekend. But yeah, it's good to see that Philip has got that experience. He'll be using that to the full here to try and get past Vareka in the purple car for 11th place. But you can see the rain is falling harder and harder. You can see the tyre marks through the water on the circuit as well, through the precipitation. Rain lights flashing as well to signify where the drivers are. Thankfully the spray isn't that prominent that rain lights are needed too much, but like I said, it's always good to have verification of where the car is and not to point something out too obvious. As we now see, looking back at Wiese Müller, he has pretty much run away with the race so far. I believe this is the penultimate lap because there's 87% of the race complete on my screen. So he has now got, I think, 2 laps to go in this one. And Bracala in second place is behind him to the tune of 10.3 seconds, but he himself is holding a gap of about 8.3 himself to Fournier, who is pulled away pretty substantially by a couple of seconds from Cabrera. So good job from Fournier to get himself up onto the podium. And Cabrera's still 4th, McCready's in 5th place, and there's another gap back to Sveben, who is still being hunted down by Mason, and he's running out of time because he's getting close, but catching, of course, is one thing we know from the famous commentator Mario Walker, but passing is most certainly another.
Yeah, and then we have Aki Peratalo at P8. He's driving a decent race so far. He's got his ups and downs, but he's still driving, and I think gains good experience. And we've got Todor Pangev in P9. And Scott Bennett just behind. Hey, didn't Bennett and Pangev had some, good fights already, Scott?
They have, and I have a feeling it's going to be another one here. Because Pangev, that's psychological. Because Bennett forced him. Pangev saw that Bennett was behind him and thought, "Oh, goodness me!" And he just, before he even knew it, he was outbraking himself and straight up into the gravel. No disrespect, totally. You're driving a great race to be in the top 10. But Scott just took full advantage of that and said, "Oh, if you're not going to stay on the track, I'll just breeze past and take 9th place if you don't mind." So he's now up into 9th place. He's got quite a large gap on, admittedly, to Peratalo. If as good a driver as Scott is, I'm not sure he's going to be able to close in some 3.4 seconds in one lap unless Peratalo makes a mistake. Now saying that, I'll probably put the commentator's curse on him. We'll have to wait and see. But I do believe that Robert Wiese Müller, our race leader, is now on his final lap. So what a race it's been for him. Front row starts. And it's practically, since he took the lead on the beginning of laps, at turn 3 and lap 2, he's spread eagled the field and he's done a grand job so far.
Yeah. And let's go, if we can, still go to number 14, driver in 14th position. It's Gerard Battle, also a new driver. And we need to give him some spotlights. And then we have driver and position 16. It's Edward Batala, also a new driver, and yeah, they're still driving, and I will take my hat off of you guys because I believe they decided very late to enter the race, and yeah, they're still driving, and yeah, if you have 2 weeks to practice, it's more easier than decide almost last minute. But we go back to Robert Wiese Müller, who is at the 3rd sector now. And I believe he's some corners away from his first Open Series victory. So, Scott, we have our winner?
Yes, indeed we do. And it is Robert Wiese Müller up towards the line and weaves in delight, and rightly so. Wiese Müller takes out the first Open Series race in Australia, second place, and a very great drive from pole position. He still gets himself second on the podium. It's Elijah Bricalo in the black car in second place. He's got Rudhoff sharing the spotlight, as he should do. They're all sharing the spotlight with this race in the Open Series, but Bricalo gets second, and a great drive from Fournier in the green car to get third place, just ahead of Francis Cabrera in fourth. Then it's Stefan McCready in fifth place. Good drive here in the white car. Then Sveben sixth. Mason couldn't close in, but credit where credit's due in seventh place, and almost threw it away at the final corner. Steady on, Rob.
Philipp Koenig, a last lap incident. What happened to? Oh, he spun. He lost his rear. Oh no! Somebody hit him.
Oh, and that's Vareka. Vareka hit him, and to be fair, Vareka had nowhere to go. That's a racing incident because Koenig lost it himself. Yeah. And you know, at that kind of speed, at that corner, you just haven't got that much time to react if you're going flat out in a car like the Open Series car. And you know, it's a racing incident because Vareka genuinely had nowhere to go, and I don't think Philip will blame him because he was already across the track and spinning and recovering. So you know, it's a shame that happened, but like I said, both of them will hopefully see the side that it was a racing incident and live to fight another day, I'm sure.
Yeah, and with all the rain, it's really difficult to get it on the track, of course. And yeah, if you see a car stalled on the middle of the track with rain, yeah, then mostly you have no where to go. You want to brake, but yeah, the aquaplaning or the braking and in the rain, yeah, it's not a good combination, of course. So I think everybody finished now, and we have had our first race with Robert Wiesemüller, who won, with Ilya Brekalo, who takes P2, and Geoffrey Fournier from France, who takes P3. Really decent race. We saw a lot of fights, and yeah, I'm pretty happy that that I was broadcasting this race. Yeah. So Scott, you have got a final word?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's first of all, it's great to be commentating in some context back on GPWC, and it's wonderful to be back in the community. Obviously, with the team we're looking after in Formula Challenge, Downforce iZone Racing. It's wonderful to be involved with Downforce with GPWC. Obviously, we're going to do the best to kind of promote you guys because the racing, even from the Open Series down up to in the Open Series up to Super League and all the other races in between, are absolutely amazing, and it deserves a bigger audience. So that's what we're going to do to help you guys out, as well as promote the Open Series talent to go ahead and go forwards into our Formula Challenge team in our single car effort. As we said, Tomeu Cabrera is going to be the first man who gets the honour of racing that car. So he will be racing, obviously, very shortly on the broadcast and the Formula Challenge. But I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys get on in Malaysia, who's on the grid there. And, of course, by then, we'll have picked who we get in the car for the Formula Challenge. And a new set of drivers will be there to try and bid for that spot and bid for some more career ladder glory. But, yeah, it's been a pleasure to commentate with you, Menno. Great stuff and great racing. And a brilliant opening race of the Open Series.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, we will say goodbye now, and in 2 weeks' time we will be back for another broadcast, and then we are at Bahrain for the second Open Series broadcast, and I hope we will have this amount of drivers again. I want to thank all the drivers and all the guys who watched this, and yeah, from me, from Scott, from Ruth, I thank everybody, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.